My favorite word's a good time. Good morning. Happy Monday. It is officially the fall here in the Northeast. We actually had to turn our heat on in the house this morning. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, for my friends on the West Coast, they're like, what, heat? So I hope everyone has a good start to the week. And remember, when it kicks into fall here, the one thing that I'm always mindful of is the year is starting to come to an end. And a lot of you might think about this. Well, wait, it's like the middle of September. These next 3.5 months will dictate how your 2024 goes. People that end the year with momentum have epic years the following year. People that go downhill and start January climbing uphill. If you've ever looked in a real estate office at the end of January, early February, has anyone ever noticed a lot of grim faces? That's because people didn't do anything for the last 3.5 months of the years, and they did the complete opposite of all those three wishes they have for their New Year's. So I'm going to consistently be drilling into everybody. Start now. So as we go through having more effective dialogues, these are actual tangible skills that you're going to learn. And I don't know if you saw the email or we had sent the email out, but I'm going to drop the link in here at the end. We started a new series called Wake Up Wednesdays just for everybody. It's the theme of it. It's like 15 minutes in the middle of the week, so you could finish the week strong and and start the week with momentum. Literally, my promise is in 15 minutes or less, you'll learn new things to grow your business. So hopefully you'll all sign up and join me on Wednesday. Please, please, please invite a friend that we've never met before. I'd love to meet new people. And look, ultimately our goal is simple, is to make sure that you finish the year strong. So the way that I've been going on and on and on about time blocking and calendaring, because it's the most important thing, is I'm going to supplement that with the next 3.5 months. And every morning you're going to have to hear from me for a couple minutes, unless you opt out or opt in, meaning do the work, that how important this is. Look, you want to take purposeful time off in the holidays and be able to truly disconnect. And for you to do it, it starts now. I find this what I call like a 6-week sprint, because once Halloween comes and November comes, that's really when people start to check out. And this is the time that you really want to double down. So we're going to go through another objection handler today. And tomorrow, we're actually going to just spend time role playing it as a group. Because what I find in the feedback that we've gotten, it's been really effective for the rest of the people in the group. Correct me if I'm wrong, hearing other people go through this more in live scenarios. And look, I always find when you hear somebody talking, you're like, oh my God, that sounds just like me too. None of us record ourselves, so none of us really know what we sound like. But when you start listening to yourself or listening through others, that's when really the breakdown happens. So who here has ever been challenged with somebody that wants to list with somebody else for 1% less? Most people, right? I love commission cutters. And so what we're going to talk about is how to defend your commission today. Now, remember, the number one thing is an objection is nothing more than a clarifying question. Number two, objections are a direct result of all of the things you did before 90% of the time. So if you follow our system or a system that you have that works correctly, all of these things should be clarified by that point by using anchoring statements and echoing back to what they said, right? Anchoring statements. So I would say, Mary Murphy, who wrote me one of the nicest notes, thank you so much. So Mary would say, I would turn around to her and say, Mary, based on the visual representation that we're showing you of other homes that will make similar to the story of your home, would you feel that this would appeal to the largest buyer pool and help you get the best price? Yes. Great. And I'm going to do that throughout the entire thing. Is there anything you'd like change, or do you feel that this will appeal to the largest buyer pool, helping you get the best price? Oh, great. I see your excitement. So do you feel that this will help you maximize your equity and position it better than anybody else? Yeah. Do you see how easy this is? But if you learn how to ask open-ended questions to control the conversation, this is the result of it. But the challenge that we have, and I'll go back to, they said about a month ago, is all of us are in salespersonal denial. We're like in rehab for sales, being salespeople, like it's alcoholism. You're salespeople. The way you do your job is an advisory role. But if you're in sales and you don't know how to have effective dialogues with clients, the same ones you have over and over and over again, you don't practice them, you're going to be losing tens of thousands of dollars a year. Compounded over a 10, 20-year career, you're literally losing one kid's college tuition, or if you put all the money away, another supplemental retirement. That is the value of this skill. So number 3, as you're going through objections and they're clarifying questions, right? We talked about number 1 and number 2 is it's all the things that you do before. Number 2, you're going to use anchoring statements to get them to agree. And number 3, you have to meet them where they are. Meaning, if this is how they feel, we need to understand why they feel this way, right? Remember, we talked about the pricing last week. We said, so what specifically will happen if you're able to sell at this price, and what won't happen? And what's your plan B? That was a natural course of action. Now, for pricing, here's some stats that I want you to pull in every pitch that you go to. Number 1, how many price reductions did other homes have to take that ultimately sold within where their home should be? Meaning, there's one thing we know as fact in real estate. People that are commission cutters are also overpricers. So essentially, 90% of the time, people are trying to save 1%. Well, and we'll go through the dialogue, but does changing a home price 1% do anything? No. Nope. So you want them to be aware of the cost of overpricing. See, most people aren't aware of that fact. How many price reductions it takes. And then the other one is they're competing against homes that don't even look like theirs. So you need to have a wide variety of comps in your collection, and just ask somebody if these were the homes, right? And this other person wants to overprice and undercut. Are you would you ever buy this home for this price? Doesn't make sense. So you see, we started with pricing and got to commission because the two of them are connected together. So who wants to do a role play with me about actually how you get rid of this whole 1%? Anyone feel free to unmute themselves.
I will.
Who is that?
Jim Dickinson, Seattle.
Nice. Another one of the West Coast that's up early. I love it. Give me 1 second. I normally have a piece of paper. I don't have a piece of paper today. I'm going to do this on a screen for everybody.
Take your time.
All right. So the scenario is you met with, actually, you can give me the scenario. You're going to try to do it with someone else for 1%. So you give me the scenario. You're the homeowner.
Am I being the seller?
You can be the seller.
Okay. So Chirag, I appreciate you taking time to be with us. We told you we met with a couple other agents, and your commission seems to be way higher than these other agents. We're really, focusing on wanting to list the home. Sounds like you have a great plan, but we want to list at 1%.
Okay, got it. So, ultimately, Jim, what I want you to know is whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%.
Appreciate that.
I know your time is really valuable. And so what I hear you saying is that you are happy with the marketing plan, the pricing, the strategy that the other agents had.
Well, theirs look good. Yours looks better.
So my question is, if you are happy with the plan that somebody presented you, the commission that was the investment you're going to make. What specifically had you call me over here this evening?
Well, we had other friends who have sold recently, and they said they interviewed a lot of agents, and they went through a whole bunch of agents to find somebody who's going to offer the best deal for the best commission.
Got
So
it.
we feel
Ready?
like what you're willing to do for us is a little bit more, but you know, all these other agents are willing to list at 1%.
Got it. So, you know, Jim, in our conversation before, you had felt that our marketing, our positioning, the story we're going to tell, our compass reach, in your own words said, would position you to maximize the equity in your home. Has that changed?
No, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to get top dollar for the home.
Got it. So look, again, as I shared with you earlier, right? Whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%. So,
Appreciate
you
that.
know,
Thanks.
how many different things can you focus on at once?
Me as a seller?
Just as general, as a person.
Oh, well, ideally one thing.
One thing. So this is what I want you to think about. Our goal in working together is to maximize, say your home's $1 million, is to maximize, and guys, I would write this like super big. Our goal is to maximize your equity in $1 million. Or, now I would rephrase this. I would say, Jim, is your goal to maximize the equity in $1 million? Or is your goal to save $10,000?
Well, I think, Chirag, what we want to do is walk away with the most money possible.
So what I hear you saying is your goal is to maximize the equity in the $1 million.
Right.
So essentially you're saying that going with a comprehensive plan that'll help you maximize your equity is in your best interest in netting the most amount of money versus trying to save $10,000 on a 1% commission on the sell side.
Mm.
It could be 10,000, it could be 20,000, it could be 30,000.
Yeah, but can we sell at $1 million for just a lower commission? I mean, we're giving a lot of money away at 3% commission. 1% just puts a whole bunch of money in our pocket.
As I said to you earlier, you can choose to do whatever you want, but ultimately the difference between working with us and maximizing the exposure is our goal is to maximize the equity. The other discount people's goal is to save you $10,000, maybe even $20,000. But is anyone taking the time to tell you if the strategy is wrong, what will happen then?
No, we never got to that part of the conversation. What happens then?
Well, let me ask you a question. You're going to buy a home next, right?
Right.
Now, if you're looking at a home, let's just say it was $1 million, and somebody dropped the price 1% to $990, would that get you excited to purchase the home?
Yes.
$10,000 would a 1% reduction on $1 million house would make you run but make an offer?
I guess it depends on a few other deals, but maybe.
Honestly, I'm going to just call you out and just say that's wrong. Because the reality is you look at data, and here's the data. The average price reduction on $1 million home is 3 to 5%. And sometimes in your neighborhood, 2 to 3 different reductions to get somebody excited. When you see something at $1 million and you get a 1% discount, it doesn't make you excited to go buy. Not in the market generally. Maybe you specifically, you could be an anomaly, but the people and the data and what other buyers are willing to pay for homes suggests differently. So as you make the decision that's best for you and your family, I encourage you to think about what will net you the most amount of equity or what will happen if you get the price wrong. And look, I could be completely off base in saying this, but I'll just be forthright in saying this. Look, you might be one of those people that don't even care how much equity you get out of your home, and the only thing you care about is how much you pay somebody else and how little they charge you. And if that's fine, I can honestly walk away and say that we're not the right group for you.
And so it sounds like what you're telling us, you can get us the most for the sale of our home and coach us as a buyer to get the very best price, like way, way better than the 1% reduction on.
Yeah, look, it's in looking at this, Jim, your motivations are, and I'm going to go back to this Med C, your expectations for this. These are your past disappointments. I can't, in good faith, agree to move forward in any of those things if this is what the focus is, right? We're in a very unique market right now where inventory is low. So we're going to want to maximize the equity in your home, but we're also going to want to have a real strategy on buying a home. Right. And I know that at the end of the day, people's efforts and investment into anything are direct relation of their compensation. They're salespeople. If they're not telling you that this is what they get paid and this is how they have to work, if you take 1% on the sales side, how much money could someone have to invest in your home and time? And again, those are choices that you have to figure out what's best for you and your family. But in your own words, you had said that our marketing and our blank would be the best for your home. And if that's really what you feel, I'd be happy to partner with you in the sale of your home. But we do charge 6% commission.
Well, it sounds like what you're telling us, Shrug, is we've been focused on the wrong things. And I appreciate your taking time to tell us what the difference is between your plan and service as opposed to the other agents. So sounds like we need to refocus on how we're going to optimize our success, not only in the sale of our home, but also the purchase of our home. So do you work with buyers as well?
Absolutely. We would, as you had shared, one of your concerns in moving were making sure you have a place to go. So, I know you're moving from Seattle to Florida. We have some great colleagues there. So we'll make sure that there is a comprehensive plan in place that makes everything in one continuum. And just remember, neither one of us, Jim, control the prices your neighbors are willing to accept for homes. And when you're purchasing a home, neither one of us control the prices other buyers are willing to pay for homes. So we have to focus on the things that we can control. And market data is market data. Everyone has access to the same stuff. So let me ask you a question now. Did I ever really sit there and tell and explain like, well, they're going to be discounters and they're going to do no, I came from a position of strength, and you notice I did the takeaway close all the time. And I kind of came at you, right? And I was like, look, you know what? I could be completely off base, but you might just be one of those people that just care what you pay somebody more than the equity in your home. And that's okay. I'm just the wrong person for you.
Yeah.
That was the turning point.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's effective when you're willing to take the pressure off and just say it underscores the value that you bring. Previous things you just said, when you're willing to say, it's like, we know we have a great service plan, and if it's not the right fit, that's okay.
Yeah. Number 6 in the 7 keys to effective conversation. Do not be attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Well then, all right, Heidi, let's go. We're going to call you on to the next one. We'll reduce if you look to buy the next home. Thank you, Jim. And appreciate you being here early in the morning, 6:30. Heidi, where are you?
I'm here and I'm not on camera because I've been walking dogs since 6 a.m. and I look crazy. But anyway, I'm ready to go.
But you have that Austin, Texas accent, so. All right, so what is your question essentially? Well, then the seller will say, will you reduce if we use you to buy our next home?
Right. So, my thing is I have a seller now, and we went under contract within 48 hours and multiple, and we went over ask. He goes to a luncheon, and of course, all his friends say, oh, well, you didn't ask enough money for it if you got that many offers, which I then responded, did they have access to sold data that I didn't know about? So okay, but anyway, whatever. We'll go back to them that I'm dealing with now. So they've kind of, it's okay now because I've substantiated my place with them and why we ask what we want. But then let's say you're in a situation with a seller and they're like, well, look, we're going to sell our house, and if we like you, we're going to use you to buy our next house as well. But if we do that, are you willing to take a reduction of selling our house if we use you to buy our house?
Okay, so ready? First thing is, for everybody, this is a business decision. There is nothing set in stone. And I'll be the first one to say this. People that tell you never this, that, the other thing. Look, let me walk you through all the different possibilities. Number one, when you do this for one person, you do this for everybody. Because every friend they say will go, oh, well, you know, Heidi had done this for me. So look, if you're going to say, look, I'll take a 0.25% off, a half, whatever it is, it's a business decision. Number two, when it comes to buyers and cutting commission, let me tell you, if I had to give $1,000, $2,000 to do a deal to stop taking people out on a weekend as an agent, I would gladly give the money. I didn't care, because what I was paying for is my time back. Right?
Okay.
Now, in doing this, if somebody says and just asks you, and you ever have a conversation with anybody where in your mind you make it up to be this big thing, and when you talk to them, you're like, wow, that was all that it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And I'll never forget the first time I actually did this. There was a guy at the closing that wrote me this novel about cutting my commission. He really needed the money and everything else. I started writing this thing out. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I just said, no, I'm sorry. I can't help you. And that was it. He goes, okay, I totally understand.
Yeah. No,
And, you
I've
know,
done that before too. I'm just,
the less you say, the better.
yeah.
Oh, the home sold really quickly. You could have got more and everything else. You say, you know what? That just means we did all the right things in making the sale happen. And we should be happy that we're not like and show and always have other examples of homes that didn't sell.
Yeah.
And they say, well, would you do that? Would you cut your fee on this? And just say, no. Do you have any other questions? I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then if they ask why, right? What I would completely say is, look, I run a business that's the same with every person I worked with. And you had been, was this person a referral?
Yes.
And I would say, look, in good ethics, I would just say, look, if Irene, I didn't do the same thing for Irene, and I'd be putting myself in a really terrible position if I did this for you. And that honestly wouldn't be fair to her either. So I just leave this the way that it is. And the people that choose to work with me know that they get a great service and a great value.
No, I mean, he realized it after I talked to him. But like sometimes when you go in, my biggest point is when you go into a seller consultation, they will, a lot of times and I'm just kind of backing on the way you were just doing the last role play where like he's like, well, we're going to be buying a house too, because a lot of times they'll say, and I get it, it's a business decision and you can decide, and probably a lot of it has to do with the cost of the house that you're selling versus the cost of the house that they're buying and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes that does come up in the seller
Look,
consultation.
it does. And you just say, no, do you have any other questions?
Yeah. Okay.
Less is more.
Yeah.
All right. So are we all good on the objection, the data, how to prepare? Again, I'm going to ask you guys, because what's most important is like what you all think. Is this helpful? Like actually seeing this in motion? So tomorrow, this commission objection is the most important one. So tomorrow, come prepared with your camera on. My friends at the East Coast, I'm going to start a little friendly competition here. Dude, the people on the West Coast are killing you guys in terms of turning your camera on and being here. Like for the East Coast, I'm on the East Coast. Like, come on, guys, like let's represent. If they could wake up and be on a camera at 6:30 in the morning, so can all the other people here. If you don't want to turn your camera on, that's completely okay too. But tomorrow we are going to role play. So can my team drop in the link to Wake Up Wednesdays? It's 9:15 for 15 minutes. That's all that it is. Can I count on you all to join me? All right, so everyone just click that link and sign up. So if you don't click the link, you're not going to get the calendar invite. So I try to be as clear with that as possible. And look, if you guys can just do us a favor, share the Wake Up Wednesdays with one colleague in your office and ask him to join. It's free. We're really trying, in terms of supporting people in general, to help as many people as possible. It's a very challenging market, and mentally it's also a very challenging time. So we all have the benefits of each other, and a lot of people don't have a community like this. Hold on one second. That is the wrong link. Let me get you the right link. Thank you, somebody, for flagging that. Bear with me here.
I actually put it in the chat room.
What's that?
I actually put it in the chat room. I copied and pasted it. So it's there. The updated link.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So everyone sign up, and please, if you can, share with a friend. Look, as we go through the end of this year, there are a lot of people that feel very isolated. There are a lot of people still working from home. There are a lot of people that are in markets where there's extremely low inventory. It's very competitive, and the year just hasn't been going the way that it should be for them or that they've wanted. So my goal is, as I shared with you, is literally as many days of the week as I can be part of your lives I want to. So we do have another bonus, like role-playing session coming on about, what do we do if, what do we say when someone says, what makes you different than other agents? We have a 3-part business planning series that's coming up at the end of the year for everybody. 3 parts. So 160 and 290s, they'll be interactive. And if you're in the tri-state area, let us know, because we'll split the days up. I'm going to stream them. There'll be a lot of people in it, but there'll be an opportunity for some of you guys to come into our office and just sit there and do it live with us. Wake Up Wednesday will be every week now going forward. So we did agent talk for years and people love that. And then we haven't done anything like this for a while. And in a meeting that we had last Monday, we're like, you know what, we should do something. And one of my team members actually came up with Wake Up Wednesday, because Wednesday's hump day. It's that one day in the week that you kind of just need to get things going. Right. So as always, love in my heart. I love you all. Tomorrow, get ready to role play, get ready to practice. We might break you up into Zoom rooms. It'll be a good time. And look, make sure that if you take 10 minutes today, make sure your goals for the rest of the year are reflected in your calendar. It is very important. All right, all, happy Monday, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.